Hi everyone, welcome on this webinar where we will show our external content module with the first two integrations with Notion and Google Sheets. First of all, that's how we start the webinar. A small sound check. Can everyone hear me? Hi everyone. Oh, great, cool, thanks. Thank you for being so responsive. Great. As we usually do, we wait for like 1-2 minutes to welcome everyone who has a small delay. We have a lot of registrations today. I think, Eva, if I'm not wrong, I think we have like 135 people that submitted for the
Yes.
webinar. But yeah, some of them are also from another time zone, so they will view the recording afterwards. Yeah, the topic is quite popular, isn't it? Hi, Bruls. Hi, Hans. The weeks before this webinar, we launched a small poll as well on the Notion community on LinkedIn, Eva, where you
Yep.
asked the question if people would be interested in connecting their Notion database to a website. And can you tell us what the score of that poll was?
I don't remember the exact numbers, but a lot of people were interested in converting their Notion pages to a website, but a lot of people don't know how to. So I guess that's why we're here today to show how it is possible.
Absolutely. And I think that the most surprisingly thing about what we are going to show off today is that it's not just a site builder on Notion. What we built is more like a module that you can really activate in your SiteManager website as such, and you really can combine data from Notion with data from Google Sheets and your own static data or dynamic data that is the core CMS system itself. And that makes really the magic. It's like the content aggregation from the different sources and being as such a content agnostic CMS platform. I also think that there is where the future is going to. You want to be your website as a branded crossroad, and it doesn't matter where the content all comes from. You just want to have that one beautiful brand experience and be able to manage some of your content in Notion and maybe some of your content in Google Sheets. And that's where we're going to show off today, how that all the different content from different sources will be beautifully blended together in one a consistently branded website. So I'm really looking forward to it. I suppose I propose that we just kick off. It's like 3 minutes after 11. Hi. Yeah, I see here in the chat that there are even people from Paris that are following our webinar. So that's great. Hi, Julieta. Great to meet you. And hi, Yoda from Germany. Great. Let's not wait any minute longer and just kick off this great webinar. By the way, in this webinar, we will also combine a lot of feature that we released in the past months. So everything will blend beautifully together. If there are questions about other features, just I go on. Normally, within 1 hour, we will cover everything. So it will be great to show you everything. I will try to share my screen now. And this should be it. Can just everyone give a quick shout out if my screen is visible now? I guess it is, eh? All right, great. Thanks for the emojis. Always nice like that. Great, cool. What we are going to do today is we will connect our SiteManager project with two external content sources. The first source is the Notion page. I made a beautiful collection of NFT collections, and these are the most popular NFT teams today available on the web. Maybe some of you who follow the Web3 space are aware about these NFT collections. And we will beautifully visualize them inside the website with beautiful cards and a detail page behind, rendering the content that will be managed inside Notion. And the second thing that we are going to do is to build a table, a team table, and we will also build a Google form that connects to this sheet. So when you fill in a form on your website, like the entry will pop up here in this sheet, and it will be then visualized on the website after the form submission has been done. So I think this is what I'm going to show you today. Eva, I would say if I'm start with demoing that you do the lead of the webinar.
Yes.
And when there are questions, please do not hesitate to ask. There is a question tab in the webinar software, so please formulate your question over there. Yes.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's my turn, I guess, to welcome you all in today's webinar on how to build a website on our SiteManager platform using Google Sheets and Notion. And the first thing we're going to do is connect to Notion and Google Sheets. So Alex will be doing all the building, and I'll be explaining what we're doing. So first, create a project. And as opposed to many other modules, there's no real need to connect to the external content module. We're offering this module for free for everybody, so it is activated automatically in each project. You do need to connect to the external application that you wish to import content from. And that's what we're doing here. So Alex is connecting to Notion. For this, you simply go to your project general settings and navigate to integrations and click the application that you wish to connect. And then here you just choose which account you want to connect and which pages, Notion pages, you want to make visible inside the SiteManager platform. Not all of your Notion accounts or pages will be visible or will be connected, only the ones you allow access to. This is kind of a measure that we took to protect your privacy as much as possible. I think Alex already connected to the Google Drive as well.
Yes, I already did. So I connected to Notion and selected there the database with the NFT collections, all the other things I'm not interested in right now. And I also connected to Google Drive, where, of course, all my spreadsheets are located into. Yeah.
So as you can see, that goes very quickly, just a few clicks of a button. And the next step that we're going to take is build the page on which we want to display all the content. Alex is building the detail page first. So this will be the page that you end up with all the information that's on your Notion page. So we're going to build a component in which we want to display all the information. We're going to build this component with a with a content structure. It's very small on my screen. A content structure and an image with the image on the left side and a content structure on the left side. So whenever you add a new section to your web page and you choose to design your own component, SiteManager will prompt you to add blocks. These blocks are either elements or structures. So you're most likely already familiar with element blocks such as headings, text, images, buttons. Structure blocks are a relatively new feature in our design engine that act as a container. So they allow you to logically organize a collection of elements inside your component, similar to how you would group elements in design programs like Figma or Photoshop. So that's what we're doing here. Alex is also going to add a bit of styling later on.
Yeah, Yeah, I already did. I'm now just going to connect already to the external content source, Eva.
Yes, so simply click the right mouse button or the three dots in the layers panel to access this window. And this is where you can connect to the external content. Simply click external content, choose the platform to which you want to connect. So this is Notion, the table that you want to connect to, and the field that you want to connect to. So this will be the field where you want to retrieve the information or the content to display on your page. In this case, an image. You do this with all the separate elements. So this is the same process over and over again. Simply click to connect the field from which you want to retrieve the content from your external application.
Like this. This is already the detail page, Eva, and in order to be able to connect later on the button of the render list to the specific detail page, I need to add something to edit something in the page properties. Yeah?
Yes. So to the page properties, we've added a external content settings box. So just scroll down to access it. And here again, you connect to the platform from which you want to retrieve content. It's the same system over and over again. It's very self-explanatory, I think. Just fill out the drop-down menus, select the platform, the table, the fields. You can also set the slugging here and the SEO fields to which you want to connect your page. So you can leave the SEO fields open. Then the default settings from the top of the page will be taken. And these settings right here in the external content settings will overrule the default settings. So if you want, you can also connect this to your Notion application.
Okay, this was the first step in connecting Notion to the website. And now we are going to create the render list, Eva.
Yes, build the overview page with the different cards or different tiles on which you can click to go to the detail pages. So again, we're creating a new page in the page management settings. Creating a new component. And this time we're going to use a dynamic list, which is a structure because we want to render the content dynamically. Inside the dynamic list will be nesting content structure or a card structure. That's personal preference. And inside the card structure, you can add the elements that you want to render, basically. So this can be a title, an image, a name, a date, anything that you want to make visible on the overview page. Alex is also adding a button, important, so you can click through to your detail page. And we'll be connecting each component element to the Notion database in the same way as we did on the detail page. So click the right mouse button and connect to the platform, and the fields to retrieve the content you want to display on your page. So those who attended our previous webinar will probably notice that the external content module is very similar to the dynamic content module, both conceptually and structurally. So a quick reminder or an introduction for those who weren't there last time. Our dynamic content module allows you to add databases to your web projects, which you would like to refer to as collections. And a database or a collection may sound very technical, but it's anything ranging from a blog, portfolio, team overview, or even a news section are great examples of collections. And the dynamic content module allows you to cherry pick content from your collections based on the parameters that you're setting, allowing you to auto-populate both overview and detail pages. So allowing you to cancel a lot of repetitive tasks or automating repetitive tasks. And that's exactly what we're doing with the external content module as well, with a small difference that the case in external content, the content won't be coming from your databases or your collections that you add to your SiteManager projects, but from existing external databases such as Notion or Google Sheets. So the workflow is very, very similar. And there you go. You have the first card. The content has been retrieved from the database. Now we're going to connect the button to access the detail page. Simply click the three dots again, go to Manage Fields, connect to the database.
Yeah, here maybe it's good. I'm now connecting the button, Eva, to the external content module. And here, instead of choosing the properties from inside our Notion table, we really connect the button to the detail page we previously built. So this is the way how you really can go for a structure like list detail. And so that's great. Whatever you put on that detail page, I am aware that I'm now replicating a bit of the content, but imagine that you have a much larger Notion database. Of course, you can I defer the content on the detail page with the content from the tile. And here the link target is the place where you say, okay, if you click the button, please open it in the same window. Like this. And then the only thing that we need to do is always here save first. Here it's also possible to have like learn more. So just add it on one place, the text of the button.
Yes.
Like this. And then here I need to connect to the lists because then the external the render list will be populated with the content from Notion in that specific database. Like this. And if I push now, save and edit, you will see how beautiful this entire list of NFT collections that I built here is now beautifully visualized inside SiteManager. When I click Learn More, you see that I go to the detail page of the NFT collection. So it's very easy once you know how the flow is going. It's very easy to set up basically, and you can do beautiful things with it. Just imagine that you're powering your own blog from inside Notion. It's all possible like this. It's not just a site builder that only works on Notion. No, it's like a cloud web design platform where you can connect your Notion content to and really visualize everything the way you want. Now I choose for the cards, but in the Google Sheets integration, I will build a table. I will also maybe show you how it works. Like here, visit the website. Here we go to the NFT lists. And if you click here, you also see beautifully how the slugging is working. No, that's a good question, Gilbert. We do have a caching system. I think the default value is that there is like an update or a call every hour, but there is a possibility to manually refresh if you want. So if you go here to the thing, you can really clear your project cache if you want to visualize it faster. I see that Billy is also attending this webinar. Gilbert, he will answer on your question, as he is the developer who built this beautiful integration. So Billy, please go on. Yeah, I don't know. Are there questions related to the Notion integrations? Otherwise, it might be the time to ask them now. Otherwise, I will switch to Google Sheets.
I just wanted to quickly highlight that we only built one card and connected the content in one card, but the module will automatically loop through all entries of your database in Notion and put them all on your page automatically. So you don't have to connect every entry manually. It will automatically happen. So you only have to connect one card, saving you a lot of time, especially if your database has hundreds or thousands entries even. This will happen very quickly, very effectively.
Maybe it's also good, Eva, to mention to the audience that, of course, everything is connected to our global style sheet. That means when you think, okay, this button is maybe too big, that with one simple change in the global style sheet, like also the visualization and design of this button will be edited in the entire website. I will maybe do it right now because I really think it's a bit too big. I go to the dimension of the button, and I will make maybe the padding a bit smaller on the top and of the button. On the bottom, like this. If you then go to the NFT list, you see that the button is a bit more stylisher. How do you call it? All right, cool. This was a Notion integrations. I hope that everyone who's following the webinar live really likes it. And now we will move over to the Google Sheets integration.
All right.
Yeah, that's correct, Yoda. we were waiting after this release webinar, and we will update it as soon as possible. By the way, our own websites will get a remake in the coming months, so it will all be updated over there. But thanks for mentioning it, Yoda. We will update it as soon as possible. I will now create again a new page and put here, maybe let's do it, make it a team page. Like this.
So we've already connected Google Sheets or the Google Drive at the beginning of the webinar, so we don't need to do that again. But just a quick reminder, if you want to connect, simply go to the general settings of your project and navigate to integrations, and that's where you'll get the overview where you can connect. And I think we're going to be building a dynamic structure again to visualize a Google Sheet table or Google Sheet content. So we're basically doing the same thing as we did for the Notion pages. We're building a structure, a dynamic list, because the content is dynamic. It's not static. It can change. So if you update your Google Sheet, the content on your web page will also be updated. So it is not static content. And inside the dynamic list, we're adding a content structure to, again, organize the elements together in a logical manner. And I think Alex will be building 4 text blocks because we want 4 text columns next to each other to display the content from the Google Sheet.
Yes, that's exactly what we are going to do. I will maybe add them first, and then I will again connect them to the right column in our Google Sheet. Like this. Yes, let's connect it. Manage input fields, text. Can here.
So we're going through the same flow as we did before. Connect to your platform. Connect to the fields.
This
Connect
is
to
like
the right table.
just this field here, Eva.
Yes.
You see that already the first field is populated.
As some of you may have seen, there's a little toggle on there on that text input setup. That toggle allows you to highlight a certain card or a certain entry. So make it static. For example, if you wanted to highlight one of the NFT cards or an employee of the month or a real estate listing that you want to highlight because it's more important or more prestigious or whatever, something that you want to put on top of the list, it is also possible with a little toggle. So if you toggle it to off, it will allow you to not loop through all the entries of the database for that specific entry. So Alex is just quickly adding some styling to make sure that all columns have the same width on the page. I see Julie is asking to have a quick look at the Google Drive file to see how it's built.
Yeah, no worry. Here we go.
So this is what it looks like in Google Sheets.
So the file is called demo external content, and the sheet I'm working in is sheet 1, and then you see all the name of the columns. Column A has the name, first name, B, last name, function, email, and that's exactly what I'm like here selecting, Julie. So here, if you go to manage input fields, then what I'm doing is I'm selecting the external content. So I'm telling, okay, the content is not really inside SiteManager, but I'm going to read out that content from a Google Drive. I select inside Google Drive the name of the sheet of the file I want to connect to, the spreadsheet I want to connect to. I select the table, and then I select the field or the column that I want to read. And that's exactly how the logic is related to each other. Is that clear for you, Julie? Okay, great.
All right.
Cool. The only thing I guess that I need to do over here is just also connect the dynamic lists, because you want to tell the system how to populate everything. So here we are going, oh, no, not Notion, it's Google Drive this time. We go to the database, and also here, please retrieve all the data from that specific list. So that is what you need to do. Oh. Like this. And normally it should work. I'm just going to save just to be sure here. Like this. And when you do a save and an exit, you see that this list is beautifully populated with everything that is inside the Google Sheets. It's just the same way as we're doing with Notion. It should be possible as well to add here, for example, an element that's called button, and then create the same structure as we did with the Notion sheet. So it's also possible to create like a render list and a detail page with data that is in Google Sheets. Because I already did it with Notion, it's like not logic to do the 2 times the same. But it is possible. So you can work with lists and detail pages also with the data that you retrieve from Google. But in this case, I thought it would be interesting to also add a form component to this page, and then to show the audience if we do a form submission, how it really would be submitted to the Google Sheets, and then of course would be visualized inside this table. I think that's a great way of connecting forms with sheets and websites. Therefore, we will build like a Google Sheet form.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that the design of what we're displaying here from Google Sheets is very similar to how the Google Sheet is designed, but you can basically display it any way you like. So Julie, you're asking if we could use this for a blog. You could definitely put each name underneath a blog with a function, email address. So the way you retrieve it, or the way you display it rather, is completely to your liking, is completely personal or subjective. So we're choosing to display it as a table here, similar to the Google Sheet, but you can display it any way you like, depending on how you design it. So we're going to build a form now and show how it's working to add a new entry to the Google Sheet from this very web page.
Hey, this is wrong. I only need 1 email fields.
Yes, Gilbert, our current website is not very up to date, but we are working on it. We are very aware, but we are working on it, and we're hoping to launch very soon. We'll keep you up to date on when the new website is live with all the correct information about SiteManager. So for the Google form, we're doing the same thing all over again. So we're building a structure, this time a form structure, and you can basically add all the elements that you think you need to collect the information you need inside your Google Sheet. Don't forget to add a submit button or the form won't work. And yeah, you add the styling to your liking, just the way you want to visualize the information or visualize the form. And again, we want to connect the content to the form. Here you can see the fields. So we're labeling the text fields to make sure that they correspond to the correct fields in the Notion form, or the Notion sheet rather. We're going to add a little image to the left as well. Make sure to publish all your pages to make your form functional. There we go. We have a Notion or a Google form. Let's try it out. We're going to add an entry from the website.
Oh, what did I forgot, Eva? I forgot to connect, of course, the form action to it, so
Yeah.
that way it will not work. So here I need to select Google Sheets, and then also the form will connect to the Google Sheets we are currently working on. So here again, we have like demo external content. That's the spreadsheet ID. I will push it to sheet 1, and this way it should work.
So as you may have seen from the drop-down menu, you can connect forms to several applications like MailChimp or Zapier. But in this case, we're connecting to the Google Sheets. Again, just filling out the fields that are prompted by the window. So let's try again. Publish all the changes to make them functional. Let's add John to the list again, or try to at least.
Murphy. Here we go. That's cool. I see that there is like a small issue with the naming of the fields over there. But anyhow, we could, I will just now connect it here. And here is like the clear project cache. And now we like edited it. And if you refresh it, you will see that the entry is here, but I have a small issue with the field naming. I will look in that later on. Yeah, this is in fact how it goes.
We've had the issue before. I think, Alex, it's simply a matter of labeling, so it's easy to fix. So it is functional though. But yeah, this is how you add a Google form to your page and can add entries to your Google Sheets from your website.
Yeah, exactly. Are there questions related to one of the integrations we were showing? Thank you, Gilbert. That's very nice to hear. Yeah, I think we are quite powerful if we see today, if you're looking to the cloud web design market, of course, the competition at this moment is mainly in the US, but yeah, it also comes with some GDPR issues and yeah, mainly also the multilingual lingual approach that we need to have here in Europe. I think at this moment, SiteManager is like the ideal combination between no-code technology for designers and content managers, but also keep on using and adding the power of everything that has to do with low-code. So know that every component that we are building, that there are no limitations over there. So everything that you build no code is also beautifully coded inside our low code module. So that means that people really can start building no code a component, a section, and take it over in the low code module and just add their own HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to it. So it's a very hybrid way of working, Gilbert, and I think that is the ideal situation or the ideal mix blend between really going entirely no code and just keep on having the flexibility as most of the people are used in open source platforms like WordPress. So we always tell our customers or clients that there are no limitations. SiteManager really can build websites from really tiny websites, landing pages to bigger websites in enterprise atmosphere. But of course, the complexity of the website, the complexity of design will depend on how much code you will use or need to use or not. But I think we're quite close to everything what we do. There was also a question from Ivo. Are there any limitation we should be aware of? Fields you know of that we cannot map? Yeah.
Yes, Billy is answering the question that
He is
most
answering the
fields in
question.
Notion.
At this moment, we limit ourselves to every field that is here on top of the Notion page. So that means that you need to use Notion as you should use like a spreadsheet. But the next phase of the release will be that also the data from the detail page inside Notion will be able to be retrieved, Ivo. Also, of course, because this module goes together with our own dynamic content module, and you see the similarities, like features like sorting and all that kind of stuff will be also added to the no-code engine in the coming weeks and months. Maybe it's a good idea, Eva, to quickly launch a poll. I'm always interested in how the people will be able to where is it?
Yes, pros. You will get the replay of this video after the webinar. It will be available on YouTube as well. And in case you really want to get started with Notion or Google Sheets, there will be some knowledge-based articles coming up explaining every step along the way. So you can just simply follow the steps to make sure that you don't miss anything. All right. Let's see the poll.
Yeah, I'm trying to find how to add it, but yeah. In a way, I'm not able to send it. Can you send it, Eva?
Let's see.
Publication date newest. Add a poll. How is this going? Okay.
No, I'm unable to see the poll.
But, never mind. Are there other questions related to what we showed like today? Yeah, Michiela, of course, yeah, it could be used to build a business directly. Yeah, that's no problem.
Maybe for those who are unfamiliar with Notion, it's a all-in-one productivity tool that's becoming wildly popular because of its versatility. The application enables you to collect ideas with Lego-style building blocks, store large chunks of information, and maybe even more important, manage projects and workflows. It's a pretty astonishing tool. I've looked into it for this webinar. We have a few blogs on our website as well, looking into the application. So be sure to check it out if you don't know it yet. The blogs are explaining its features and giving practical examples of how you can apply the application for your business. As for Google Sheets, I'm sure more people know the program. It's a spreadsheet program very similar to Microsoft's Excel, which also allows you to create, update, modify spreadsheets and share data online in real time. So both tools enable you to collect large amounts of content that you may want to convert to a website.
Yeah, Gilbert, thanks you. That's very nice that you're telling this. It's exactly the way how it goes. But when I'm doing demos to agencies or marketing teams, they say, okay, WordPress DV, WordPress Elementor. Elementor is great. It's quite similar to our no-code design engine, of course, but I think the added value is also the ease of use of the CMS part. You need to know that when you give your end client access to SiteManager, the access could be limited only to the content, and so your end client will never have like the risk in messing up the design or messing up the code. So it are three modules: a low-code code module, a no-code design module, and a no-code content module. And you only give access to the content engine. What I see in the market is, because we are also approached quite oftenly by bigger marketing teams, is that the marketing teams themselves from enterprises and medium-sized businesses really want to have no-code technology, because they just want to create a quick landing page that their agency, of course, pre-built for them, but they just want to have a bit more freedom, a bit more flexibility. And I think that is exactly where SiteManager comes in. It's a good way of working. It's cloud-based. Everything that you build inside SiteManager is also reusable, and that is quite interesting to see. You have like your own library, so you can build your components. For example, the render list of the Notion sheet. You can build it in one project. You can save it to your library and reuse it in another project, and that's really great, of course. That entire reusability, what's the core of cloud web design. Also, to collaborate with your end clients, there are like features, for example, a comment module where you really can ask feedback for your end clients and then work on it together to fix some smaller things. It's all beautifully pushed in a comments module right here, and it also there is an overview in your project setting site. Are you trying to differentiate yourself from Webflow with the integrations, or how do you see yourself compared to them? That's a very nice question, Yoda. Yes, of course, we are aware of the competition, and we follow Webflow and also Editor X quite closely. I think that the origin in how they started, they developed it, is quite different. Webflow had, in the early days, because I'm following Webflow as from the day it was called Macau, so I go way back, and then it was working as a standalone design application, and you need to upload it to the server of your choice. But it was like engineered from the perspective that they only want to give the designers the full freedom. We think we are more fan of the approach of collaborative web design, where we see a beautiful blend between a designer who wants to style and to build websites in a quick and easy way, between an end client who wants to have an easy drag and drop CMS platform that more resembles with a Wix or a Squarespace, and then of course the coder. And we think that the coder is a crucial part in this collaboration, Yoda. What, for example, Webflow does is they give coders access to the full page source code. And that is something that we think in doing differently. We give access to what we call the code block for each snippet. So each section that you build, each component that you build inside SiteManager has an own code base, and that makes it very nice also for front-end coders to take to start from what a designer has built up no code and take over and maybe bring it to the next level. So it's really a collab between. In the ease of mind, I don't want to be silly about that. I think that the design engine of Webflow is maybe a bit more advanced already, but it's also more complicated. And we think of ourselves, okay, let's build a design engine that more resembles with a Canva, for example, instead of trying to build a Photoshop. So I think it's more that way. It's more that approach that we are trying to do. But to all of you, in the coming months, I think within 2 months, we will also release like a design engine 2.0, and a lot of the things where we also receive feedback from our clients are also adapted in that release and improved in that release. So I really think we come. I am convinced we're coming quite close. Yes, Yoda. Thanks. Yeah, it's perfect. If you want to reach out, maybe we can. I will also maybe put my email in there if you want to schedule a private demo. SiteManager. Please reach out to me, and I'm happy to give you a private demo. Also for everyone else that, of course, is joining this webinar. Yeah. Okay. Ivo also had a question. Is it a risk to make your site's images dependent on external sites when they are hosted on Notion? Does it impact speed of page loads, for instance? Billy, is that a question you can answer on? I have really no idea. It's like, yeah, it's obvious that when you put the images in our own media library, you will have like the flexibility in our page speed settings to also define the compression or the level of the compression. Yeah, if your content is in an external source, yeah, you need to be sure that, yeah, the image there you uploaded is not like 2 GB large or something like that. So yeah, it depends, but I guess that the caching also will take care of part of that story. I might need to watch some more resources and videos about the other features. Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. Yeah, Yoda, we have here on our website, and yes, I know, Gilbert, we are going to update our website in the coming weeks, months, but this might be an interesting to watch. This is like our one-on-one crash course, and if you go through this video series, I think you will have a pretty good idea about how SiteManager is working. Although we are adding more and more videos to it, as for example, the dynamic content, that one is visible in our webinar replays from 2 months ago. But Eva, it might be an idea maybe to also add it to the follow-up mailing that we are going to send related to this webinar.
Yeah.
We also have a quite extensive support base. You just can go here to support.sitemanager.io. For example, if you are looking to our dynamic content module, here, for example, you can see everything what is needed to start with dynamic content. And so the entire webinar related to dynamic content is also added to this page, so it might be interesting to watch. This one is very powerful as well, but it works a bit the same way as we are doing, as we explained now with the external content. Once you have like the flow in how to build it, it goes very smoothly.
And of course, there's also our YouTube channel. There's not many videos on it just yet, but we're updating it just like our website. So you should find more information on the features there as well. I'll just send you the link real quickly.
All right, cool. Eva, I think that, yeah, this was the webinar. How big is your team? That's a good question, Yoda. We are at this moment with 17 in the team. At this moment, we are more we are mainly focused in Belgium, although we have some clients in the Netherlands and France as well. We have 215 agencies powering, and we publish a website a day approximately. It's not comparable with Webflow yet, but we are going there.
Just to be sure, the project made with Notion can also be made with Google Sheets, look, feel, and image. Yeah, exactly. All the content that you put on your page so you retrieve the content from Google Sheets or Notion, but the way it is designed, the way you display it is entirely up to you. So it is possible to make exactly the same project with Notion or Google Sheets.
Yoda, maybe to add some more features, because you said you want to find out what is all inside SiteManager. I think here also compared to Webflow are some of the added values that we could offer. We have a native language module. In Webflow, you need to use the Weglot module on top of it. So most of our clients really love this one. The dynamic content module is quite comparable with the external content that we showed off today. But in that module, the content is hosted inside SiteManager. It's also possible to link collections with each other, and, for example, build a blog collection, an author collection, and then, yes, like the Webflow CMS collections. All right. Then we also have, for example, smart content. Smart content is to do A/B testing, access logics, time logics. Yes, without the 2,000 item limit. That's correct. It is possible to connect your form with what we call API calls, and that makes it possible to submit your forms to multiple destinations. For example, ActiveCampaign, Teamleader, HubSpot, Microsoft Dynamics, all that kind of stuff. For user management, that is a feature that is used to build membership websites. Membership websites where you want to hide some of the content behind the login. This is an integration with Amazon Cognito, AWS Cognito. The reason why we are doing that is because we really don't want to store personal details of the clients of your clients on our servers. So we encourage to really set up an own AWS Cognito accounts on behalf of your clients, and there all the personal details are stored. But of course, the membership module is integrated inside SiteManager, so it's possible to allocate rights and permissions to specific users that submit on your membership. So that is possible. We have a connection with StoryShift, that's a blogging platform, and also we do have an integration with Ecwid. Ecwid is a Lightspeed e-commerce module. It compares with Shopify. It's not our own native e-commerce module, because we think that e-commerce goes that fast that it's better to land on an external party for that feature than trying to build and keep updating our own e-commerce module. Yes, that's great. So you're using StoryShift as well? Okay.
I see, Yoda. You have the question. If you can,
you definitely should have a talk. I will show you some magic then later on. All right, cool.
I'll just quickly answer Yoda's question on dynamic content collections. If you can connect one collection to another connection, and the answer is yes. So, for example, if you have a blog collection, you can connect your team collection, making sure that each blog mentions the name of the writer. So those will be two separate collections that you connect to each other. If you want to know how, you can again check out our knowledge base, our articles, or watch our previous webinar that is on our YouTube channel, where we explain how you do that exactly. All right.
Yeah, Gilbert, the lazy loading I'm showing right now, so you can activate the lazy loading on every image that's inside your page section or in your components. Great, cool.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for the energy, the enthusiastic attendance of this webinar. And yes, we will host a new webinar, I think, after the summer holiday.
Yeah.
Maybe already with a new external content module. We have some of on our wish list. Maybe that's a good question to answer for the people that are still online. Are there some external content endpoints that you really put on your favorite list? We were thinking about Airtable, for example, but maybe there are others I'm not aware of. NoCo-DB. Yeah, that's some, man, that's a good one. Thanks, Airtable, self-hosted alternative. Yeah, absolutely. Airtable is one, monday.com. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, that gives us some ideas. I think it's very nice. This is really the way where web design is going to, like, blend all your information from anywhere in any SaaS software you want to use, and then beautifully blended on one integrated website visualization. So definitely we will look into these. And keep you updated when we release a new integration. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for the energy, everybody.
And see you next time. Bye.
Bye.